Facebook and Zoom, but I've not seen this thing. Where does it appear on the Macmillan page?
Side. Once the live begins, the chat, all the chats are visible on the side panel.
Okay, I want to just see that once. Will it come on the home page itself? Do I have to go to the webinars wala link?
No.
Still not
It will
coming.
be visible on the home page as well. Only. I have just started it.
Okay. अभी तक आया नहीं है.
Yeah, just press home.
I'm on the home only.
It's now available. Just
no,
press
not
home
yet.
button. Press home button once again.
Press home button. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I went out of that. I'm on the home button only.
Or I have given you the direct link also.
Where
In the chat box. Chat box.
Chat. In the WhatsApp?
No, here chat box. Zoom chat box.
No, I can't go from here because. Can you just send it on WhatsApp? I'll access it on WhatsApp because I'm on another device. Logged in from one more device.
No, it's not coming, Suruchi.
It's not coming, yeah. So far, it's not coming. Still is seeing the Macmillan corporate film only.
Wait. Soumya, I've given you a direct link in the chat. Just try that.
Okay. But people will have this only, no? People will have this only, no?
Yes.
This direct link.
Having this.
Sure. I've given.
Put it on WhatsApp, Suruchi.
I'm doing it. Just a second.
You'll have to put WhatsApp web and then do it. Corporate film ही चल रही है.
Soumya, can you forward this to Ashlesha ma'am? I'm not able to forward.
It's okay, I'll do it. Got it.
Have you sent it to me?
Yeah.
I haven't still received the message, Suruchi.
It's on the chat of this thing only, Soumya.
And I have WhatsApped you as well.
Okay.
One second. You WhatsApp it to me. Ma'am, we are on live.
You're online?
Yes.
It's strange. I'm not able to see it still.
Yeah.
It should come in the main homepage only under videos or under homepage only.
It will be on the homepage itself.
So.
Okay. So, but it's still not appearing on the homepage, huh? If I'm going directly to the homepage, it's not appearing.
You go to Macmillan Education page and then press home. All the lives come there. Everybody who has the link has the entire steps with them.
Oh, but if you're going, one second, see, the one that Soumya had sent me, that particular thing is not bringing me to this page.
It takes you to the home page. Once you and on top at home, you will see managing learning gaps live happening.
When you're saying home, this is the home page of this thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Not yours. You have to go to Macmillan Education India link.
I'm getting it through the link only. Soumya, can you, Suruchi, can you check in from another device?
Yeah, I'm checking that.
Through the link this thing that Soumya has sent.
Soumya, can you share that with me?
Yes, Suruchi, I'm sharing it.
And where is the chat in this? Okay, say something. Sign in. Okay.
Yeah, it's working. The link that I've given, Soumya has
Coming
given,
on
it's
that?
working. Soumya, I copied from that. Soumya, just in case, you keep the homepage link I'm sharing with you, and in case of any confusion, just share this link also. In case of any confusion, right? Hi, Soumya. Hello.
I'm just trying to see the lag.
I'm just trying to get connected. It's not coming. Live is not coming. No, I don't see. I went to home page using my other device. I'm unable to see that actually.
That's what I'm saying. Go to Macmillan Education India page.
It's not coming on Macmillan
should
India page. It's
automatically
coming
come,
only
right?
through the link, according to me.
Try go to YouTube. I'll share your screen. I'll show it to you.
Do I have to go to webinars? No.
No, just go to Soumya, share your screen.
Soumya, when you come here, can you just say something so that I can see whether I can see the.
Ma'am, it's working. It's working. It's working. It automatically comes.
Okay. I'm glad to know that it's still not coming for me, but it's I've got it through the link, so it's okay. Now, Soumya, can you just give a message so that I can see whether it's coming or not?
I'll just add a message. Wait.
Yeah, okay. Suruchi, I can see your message. That's fine.
Yeah. Soumya?
Yes.
Soumya, this direct link you share with everybody as well.
I think it's better to share the direct link because like I'm having a problem. It may be that others may also have.
This direct link you share with everybody. Forward it to everybody as well. Just WhatsApp them.
Yes, yes.
Suruchi, can you make me the host again?
If I make you the host, the stream will go off.
So then how does...
I'll
I
make
can't
you a
share my
co-host.
screen then.
You can. You can.
How will I share my screen?
You can. It's the same way. The co-host
No,
has
it's
the
saying
same
host
way.
has disabled the... I'm not able to share my screen. It
Wait,
says
wait,
host
wait.
has disabled participant screen sharing.
Now you can try.
Okay, you made me the co-host.
Hmm.
Hello. Hello.
Because of you. Dedicated to all the teachers who are
Ma'am, it's coming. I can see you live. I can see you live. Okay, Suruchi, I can see your message. Yes, Suruchi. Yes, I have done that. Suruchi, I have shared it to the link. Share the direct link because like I'm having a problem. Maybe that others will also have. I have done that, Suruchi. I have done that. Suruchi, you're going to be there in the session? Suruchi, I'm just WhatsApping you. Please just have a check.
Raju sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you, ma'am. So it's time. Soumya, are we good to start?
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you, ma'am. So it's time.
Good morning, Raju. Good
Good morning.
morning, ma'am.
So Soumya, shall we start the program?
Yes, we could start.
Good morning, educators. This is Rajiv from Macmillan Education. We welcome you to this morning's webinar of Macmillan Education. Macmillan is a global education company existing in more than 120 countries. And we are in the education space of India for more than 128 years. Macmillan Education is advancing learning by working closely with and institutions. We are always at the forefront of innovation in introducing new methodologies, engaging digital resources, and providing sound teaching practices and pedagogy that inspires learners to achieve more. We are delighted to share with you that Macmillan Education has won the Best Education Brand Award in the year 2020 from the Economic Times, a recognition of trust reposed on us by the millions of learners and teachers in this country. To support all the stakeholders of education and the institutions for hybrid schooling, Macmillan Education has launched an innovative blended learning solution called Altura. Altura means to rise, and that's what it aims to, with teachers and learners, helping them to achieve the optimum of their potential. Do check the news of Altura on our website and on our social media handles. Well, during our interactions with the schools over the last couple of months, we got to understand that except for a small fraction of classrooms, learning has remained disrupted due to school closures. While schools have managed to run online learning programs, there is evidence that many students will enter the new academic sessions with significant learning gaps. Today's session on managing learning gaps is curated to explore themes like how to diagnose the learning gaps, how to identify students who need help, how to manage students' performance, and strategies for managing learning gaps. To introduce our resource person for today's session, to all of you, I would like to call upon Soumya Satish. Over to you, Soumya.
I think Soumya is facing a bit of internet issue. Raju, can you take this forward?
Okay. Just give me a second.
Soumya, you're on mute. Unmute yourself, Soumya.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I hope I'm audible now. Ashlesha Thakur is a passionate educationalist with over 2.5 decades of experience in education sector. She is the CEO of Lead Innovation. She specializes in setting up schools, transforming schools into high-performing organizations, evangelizing better parenting and empowering educators. Ashlesha has conceptualized and implemented large-scale training programs for teachers over the past 2 decades. She has trained more than 42,000 teachers across the whole country in over 1,140 schools. She is a trained school accreditation assessor from NABET and has conducted school audit in several schools. She has been involved in developing curriculum based on Reggio Emilia and Harvard University making learning visible approach. She has presented numerous papers all over the world in Saudi Arabia, Japan, Germany, Singapore on the issues related to education. In India, she has spoken in different forums such as the NCERT, ASSOCHAM, CII, the Wipro Partners Forum, Digital Learning, Grey Matters Symposium, etc. Ashlesha was awarded the Women Super Achiever in Education by ASSOCHAM in July 2012. She won the Thought Leader Education Award in the World Education Women Entrepreneur in Education Award by DNA Education Awards in 2016 and Leading Women Entrepreneur Award at the 6th Annual Women Leaders Conference 2015. She is also a recipient of a Governor of Uttar Pradesh Awards for meritorious performance in education in 1992. Ashlesha is the chairperson of 7 Army public schools and is leading their school improvement initiatives. We are very happy to have you here, ma'am. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Soumya. So nice of you. What a lovely introduction. Thank you for that. And a very, very good morning to everyone sitting over here today. I am so honored to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful gathering. And I must say that if people have sacrificed a Saturday morning to attend this session, then it really shows the kind of people that they are. I'm so, so blessed that you have decided to join us here today. Okay, so let's get started. Give me a moment to get things organized. Soumya, we have about 25 people waiting in this in the waiting room. Do you want to let them in here, or you want to message them to attend it via YouTube? You take a call. Okay, give me a moment to get my screen going. So I want to actually start my session today with a huge, huge round of thank you to every single teacher and educator who's attending the session today. The fact is that life went into a lockdown very suddenly last March, almost exactly a year ago, a little more than a year ago. And it is our educators that ensured that life went into a lockdown, but learning did not stop. And that is something that I think is extremely creditable. All the teachers learned very, very quickly. And, for things and skills that they had never acquired for so many years, everyone learned it so quickly. And that is only because all of us as educators did not want this year to be wasted. Just imagine if this pandemic had happened sometime during the 80s or 90s. Actually speaking, children would have lost one complete year. But thanks to the internet, learning has continued. May not be at the same level, it's all right, but it has continued and children have not wasted out a year. So what I want to do is to pay a tribute to all of you. I've written a poem specially for you, and I hope you like it.
Because of you. Dedicated to all the teachers who are working online, striving to make learning interesting. Because of you, today, a child will learn online. Because you ensured that you learn this skill on time. Because of you, a spark has been ignited. Because you planned your lesson in a way that every student would be delighted. Because of you, a journey of inquiry begins. Because you decided to ensure that every student wins. Because of you, a child will use the right apps and learn to wonder. Because you knew a child would come through even if he was making a blunder. Because of you, a child will use technology to research, probe, and question. Because going to the depths of the topic was really your suggestion. Because of you, a child will develop skills of teamwork and communication. Because you used appropriate strategies for engagement and differentiation. Because of you, a child knows she doesn't need to use the words, I don't know, ever. Because you made the children independent learners and changed their lives forever. All because you made it possible.
I hope you like that poem. And what I'm going to ask each one to do, even though I can't see you, is to clap for yourself like this. Come on, let's all of us clap for ourselves because we made learning happen. You know, teachers are no less than Corona warriors, isn't it? Because we ensured that the next generation did not get impacted despite all this pandemic. So, hooray for us. Okay, what we're going to do is this is going to be a very interactive session. I'm not the one who's going to actually talk. We're going to be interacting and talking, and all of you have to communicate with me via the WhatsApp, the chat, which is on YouTube. Okay, so can you, all of you, quickly tell me, did you like my poem? Quickly respond to this question so that I know that you're there and you're responding to my answers. Yeah, so you can give me a clap, you can give me a shout out, you can say yes, you can give whatever comments you want, but I want everyone to give me a comment so that I know. Thank you, Rajan, Shakti, Jairam, Flani, Arun. I'm watching you with your names. I can see you, so please do respond quickly, because this is going to be very interactive, right? Hi, Neetu, Karthik, Kalmani, Divya, Arun, Karthik. Hello to all of you. Okay, and all the participants who are actually on Zoom, there's no way that I can let you sort of, ask questions at this point in time. It'll be nice if you can exit from Zoom and actually go on to YouTube because I'm only monitoring YouTube. I'm not monitoring the chat on the Zoom. Okay, so do correspond with me, everyone. I'd love to hear your words. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Great, Prema, Maries, Casey Rose, Abhinaya. Sorry, I think I massacred your name, and Radhika. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move ahead and let's see what I've planned for the session today. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is to reflect about why don't all children learn? Whether it's online mode or it's the offline face-to-face mode, why don't all children learn? That's a critical question before we understand how to manage learning gaps, right? So The first question is going to be that. The next question I'm going to share some research on student performance. And I'm going to share what is actually happening around the country so that all of us are familiar with the problem at hand and we are cognizant and aware of what we need to do for the next academic year. Then I'm going to discuss a little bit about pedagogy of effective teaching, whether we're teaching online or we're teaching remote. It doesn't matter whether class is open, gradually opening. Next year is a year that all of us have to really, really work doubly hard. I'm sorry, there's no good news here, but all of us have to work really hard in order to ensure that we are actually going out and meeting the needs of our students who are getting left behind. Then we're going to analyze a case study. We're going to understand what is meant by learning loss. We're also going to understand how we can manage the diagnosing and finding out about learning gaps. Okay, and then I'm going to suggest a solution which you can adopt for the next academic session. I don't think we can do anything much this session because this session is almost at an end. I think everyone must be preparing for exams if the exams have already not started, or busy preparing for the report cards, I think. So whatever it is. Soumya, I can see 35 people waiting in the room. Are you going to let them in, or how are you managing these people who are waiting? Can you unmute and tell me? Because I'm getting a little bothered with so many people waiting. So either Raju or anyone can just respond. Soumya, are you there? Okay, I'm not getting any response from them, so I have no idea.
Hi, ma'am, you continue. I'm not the host, but definitely me and Soumya will manage.
So no, I'm a co-host, so I'm just letting everyone join in.
Yeah, okay.
Is Durga managing? Is Durga a co-host?
I think so.
Okay, so give me a second, people. Let's just get the logistics of this organized so that we have. Yeah. There's a lot of noise coming in now. Just a moment. Give me everyone a moment, everyone. Mute everyone so that. Yeah. Okay. We have a lot of people who joined in on Zoom also, and I have no idea how that's happened. But nevertheless, welcome to everyone who's here. I'm glad to know that you've joined us today, and welcome. Since you didn't see the earlier part, I'm so glad that you've joined us today. So let's start today's session. And what I want to do is a small activity with everyone. Okay. What I want to do is for everyone to open a new web page and go to this site called www.menti.com. Okay, www.menti.com. All the people who are on mute, I will request you to please mute yourselves. Do not unmute, otherwise I will have to ask you to leave from here, or else I'll block your video because it's very disturbing otherwise. So I'm requesting all the people who are on Zoom to ensure that their audios are on mute. If I find that there's noise coming from you, I'm very sorry, but I'll have to just stop your presence over here. So kindly, I'm requesting you, make sure that you are on mute. Okay. All right. So what I want everyone to do is to go on this website called www.menti.com. There you're going to be asked to write a code. So note the code carefully. It is 40757295. So go to this code, and there's a survey form over there. I want you to answer the questions that I have asked. And the question that I'm asking is, what percentage of students do you think have learned 100% concepts? What percentage students do you think have learned 100% concepts? Whenever you have taught them, how many students have learned everything that you have taught? That's the question that I want everyone to respond to. Okay, so I want everyone to go there, and I want everyone to respond to this question. Okay. You have to select any one of these answers. Okay. 90% students, or 70 to 89% students, or 50 to 69% students, or less than 49% students. Okay, so I want you to go to this website, www.menti.com. The code is, and you can see it over here on my screen over here, www.menti.com. The code is 40757295. Come on, Tamil Nadu teachers. I want to see how good your technical skills are and how quickly you're able to get on this website and answer this question. Okay, I've had two responses and they are saying it's less than 49%. So 49%, and be truthful, okay? No point in deluding ourselves. Okay, so 49%, one person is saying 90% and above. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, one person is saying, two are saying 70 to 89, and four people are saying 49%. If you're having a problem, let me know on chat. I'm Durga. Please put on chat. Can you put the code once again and the name of the this thing as well? Or put it on the YouTube chat also, please. www.menti.com, and the code is 40757295. Or if Suruchi is there, could one of the Macmillan team actually write the response? Okay, I want you to write the response here so that we know how many people are actually understanding. Okay. Okay, but be truthful. I'm going to give another 30 seconds for this activity and then I'm going to move ahead because we have lots and lots of things to do today. And I want to ensure that everyone is participating in. So people, remember that you need to be able to respond very quickly to what I'm asking. Otherwise, this session is not going to be very interactive, right? Okay, so I'm going to give a few more seconds for finishing this activity. A lot of you are responding, but a lot of you are not responding. I don't know why you're not responding. Is it because you're not being able to do? Okay, Esther Jacqueline, go to the website. I'm not accepting responses on the chat. Esther Jacqueline, Andrews, I hope you've responded. Anandini, Suganya, Archana, Abhita, Padmavati. Arun is saying we should be using two devices. Not required, Arun. You can do it on one device because even though you're on YouTube, you can continue to hear me. If you have another device, even better. No problems at all. Okay, a lot of you are responding on chat, but I'd have loved if you could have responded on the website because remember, you're also learning a new site and how you can use it in your classrooms. And that was my actual intention, which is why I'm insisting that all the teachers should use this website. Okay. Jessica, Lata, Archana, Lisa, Didi Saranya, Ruby, Rajni, Rekha, I can see your responses, but I would still request you to go on the website www.menti.com, put the code 40757295 and then respond. Okay, so I'm stopping this activity now because I think a lot of people have responded, and thank you for that. What I can see is that almost, if I were to look at less than 89%, then most of the people are saying that less than 89%, and only two people are saying that above 90%, which means the conclusion is very simple, that all students are not learning everything that we are teaching them today in our learning mode, in the online teaching. So what is this inference that we can draw from this? Can you tell me? Can you write on the chat what is the inference that you are drawing from this conversation and from what you are seeing from the response of everyone over here? For me, the inference is very clear, but I want to hear from you. What do you think is the inference? Can you write it on the WhatsApp chat? And for those who are in Zoom, you can write it on the Zoom chat as well. I will also monitor the Zoom chat so that I can do. Durga, you're constantly responding on the Zoom chat. You need to respond also on the WhatsApp chat, right? Sorry, on the YouTube chat. Okay, Dolly baby, you're telling us something about money. I have no idea what that means. I think that was meant for someone else. It'll be nice, Dolly, if you can pay attention over here. All right, less than 49. Okay, so most of us are saying that not many children are learning, right? So what is the clear inference? The clear inference is simple. The clear inference is that in the next academic session, if all goes well and if the schools reopen, we are going to have to land up teaching for 2 years, right? If more than 50% of our class have not understood the concepts of what we have taught them and we are promoting them, then it is important that we will have to ensure that we are covering the learning gaps that are happening in our children in the next academic year. We can't keep teaching ahead and hoping that by some miracle, everybody will understand and we can continue like this year did not happen. I'm sorry, that's not the way it will continue, because we know that concepts actually are very sequential and we need to be able to teach these concepts in an extremely sequential way, right? So given that kind of a scenario, we will need to ensure that we are actually teaching our children, uh, we are teaching our children in a way that we are actually going ahead and covering the learning gaps that are happening. Okay, can you hear me, everyone? I don't know what has happened to my system, so it will probably come back in a moment. Sorry. Am I audible now? I think my voice was not clear. Am I audible now? Can you tell me? Yeah. Can you confirm if you can hear me now? Yeah. Okay. Everyone is saying yes. So great. So the fact remains that there have been issues related to technology. There have been issues related to the students themselves. There have been issues related to
to the parents as well, right? Okay. So what has happened as far as the technology is concerned? Number one, mostly, a lot of children did not have the requisite devices. A lot of children had problems because of the bandwidth. For example, right now, I'm facing a technical issue, and naturally, because of that, there is disruption in teaching. So, if there is disruption in teaching, then naturally there is a problem. And what happens if the teacher herself is on is experiencing a problem? So definitely all these issues create and cause problems. Okay, give me a moment, everyone. I'm joining in again from my Zoom. I think there was a problem in my system. It kind of stopped working for a minute. Okay, so given this kind of a scenario, it is safe to assume that, okay, I'm back again. Give me a second. Given that kind of a scenario, it is important for us to also analyze what was happening to the students. A lot of students face difficulties because the teacher felt she taught, but the children did not understand. There have been two big issues this year. Number one is that children were learning is a human activity, right? We don't learn when we are learning alone sitting at home. For learning, we need to be able to meet our friends, we need to be able to talk to our friends, we need to be able to discuss things with them. Only then uh, the correct kind of learning happens. And were we able to actually make this happen in our schools this year? The answer is no. We were not able to get our children to actually understand what we were not able to get them to interact with each other, and as a result, definitely there has been a problem. So this has been one thing. So they've been able to ask each other maybe on phone, but they've not been able to ask each other when it comes to actual things. And a lot of children are very, very shy when it comes to learning. Okay, give me a second. I think I'm online now. Give me a moment to come back online. Okay, I think my presentation is also up. Second. Okay, so given this kind of a scenario,
So given this kind of a scenario, are you able to hear me? Can you confirm? Everyone, can you hear me? Still not audible? Can you tell me if I'm audible? Yeah, I am. Okay. Thank you. All right. So this leads us to believe that we need to understand what is meant by learning loss. So all the pedagogists and educationists in the world, not just in India, are today talking of a term called learning loss. Okay? Learning loss refers to any specific loss of knowledge or skills in academic progress because of extended gaps or discontinuities in the students' education, right? So this is what is meant by learning loss, which means that all of us as teachers, and I've seen that many of us have truthfully responded that less than 49% students have in fact understood 100% of our content, right? So that means that there is, for teachers who are saying 50% students, so there is 50% students who have learning loss, right? And this is something that we need to address. Let me share a research that was done by Azim Premji Foundation a few months ago. I think they did this just a few months ago in November, December. And already by November, December, when they did this, did this study. They said that this is a very serious problem that needs to be addressed. Okay, it's important that we address this problem. And they said that there were issues with oral expression of children. There were issues with the reading fluency of children. That means if children were fluent at some point in time, the kind of fluency that we are seeing now, there is a challenge with that, right? There's a challenge with writing skills. There's a challenge with listening, reading, and comprehension. Okay, now they basically looked at uh, at at numeracy, and they looked at language, because these are the two most important skills. So in class 2, 20% students could not identify numbers. 33% could not subtract single digit numbers. Can you see? In class 2, say 52% students could not find equivalent fraction of a fraction. What does this tell us? That teachers are continuing to teach ahead, but is teaching equal to learning? That's a question that I'm asking you, and I want you to go on chat and respond. Those of you who are on Zoom, respond on Zoom. Those of you who are responding on YouTube, I want you to respond. Is teaching equal to learning? Yes or no? Respond on this question. Is teaching equal to learning? Is teachers teaching equal to students learning? Is the answer yes, or is the answer no? All the people in Zoom, I'm not seeing you writing your answers. Just got an answer from Athira, from no one else. And from YouTube, I'm still waiting. Minu is saying yes. Minu, you believe teaching, if you teach, children learn? I'm sorry, Minu, I don't agree with you. Sorna Lata also is saying yes. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you, Sorna. Fire Giant says no on YouTube. Saiprat Uma says yes. I hope you're listening to my questions carefully, because Namita is saying absolutely yes. Oh my God, Namita, have you understood my question at all? My question was, if the teacher teaches, is that the same thing as students learning? The answer is no. Just because a teacher is taught, it does not mean that 100% students have learned. We've just seen it from the survey, right? So what does this mean? It means that the job of the teacher is not to teach. The job of the teacher is actually to make sure that all children are learning. So we have to bring about a drastic change in the way that we are teaching. All right. And that's the key message that I want everyone over here to think about. Okay. Now let's move ahead and let's look at what constitutes good teaching. Okay. Now this is based on what has been written recently in the National Education Policy, what has been written in the national curriculum framework, and research around the entire world. At this moment, I am engaged with a project where we are working towards the improvement of science and maths in in a few particular states. And this is a global initiative. And what I hear all the global educators saying is what I am presenting to you today, that if we have to teach, whether it is online or whether it is in the classroom, whether it is online or whether it is face to face, there are four important pillars that we need to think about. The first important pillar is there adequate student to teacher interaction? I'm not talking about the teacher to the student interaction. No, I'm talking about, are students actually being able to reach the teacher? Does a child feel confident to be able to go to the teacher and say to the teacher, ma'am, I have not understood this? Do our children have that much courage and confidence? Are they scared of asking questions to teachers, please think about this issue. Number two, student to student correspondence. How are we doing with respect to student correspondence interaction? During the online time, what has unfortunately happened is that peer interaction has reduced drastically. We are not getting our children to interact. Children are learning in an isolated way at home. And because of that, there is a lot of challenge that is happening, right? So student to student interaction is not happening. So this is the first pillar, interaction. What is the quality of interaction that we are having with our students? When children are in a face-to-face class, they can ask the teacher or they can even ask their friends. There will be some shy students in our class who will not come up, but the teacher, because she's seeing them all in front of her, she is able to make out through the body language that here is a child who's not understood, and she will reach out. So what happens to those children who don't come up, take the initiative to clarify doubts, right? So for those students, we need to think about the first pillar, which is what is our interaction with our students looking like? Are we having enough interaction between the students to the teachers, number one? And in the sub part B in that is, are we being able to have enough student to student interaction? So that is the second part that we have to see in the first pillar. The next pillar, the second pillar is active learning, right? What is active learning? I want everyone to write on chat and tell me, what do you understand by active learning? Can you go on, can you go on chat and write down, please? All those who are on Zoom, please write on Zoom. All those who are in YouTube chat, please write down and do it quickly, quickly, because I'm waiting for your responses and then I will allow you to, so that I can move ahead. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting some responses, very nice. And it's good that a lot of people on Zoom are responding so quickly. Galaxy M3, will you kindly rename yourself? I love to call people by their names, and I'm calling you by the name of a phone. So please go and write your name, okay? And I'm waiting, and I'm so glad that Rajni, Shanmuga Priya, Esther Jacqueline, Sushila, Hemvati, uh, Kalamani, Padmavati, Selakani are responding. I'm so happy to know that. Okay. And what is active learning? Everyone's responding. I love the answer that Yamuna has given. And I'm going to call out Yamuna's answer because I really like the answer. Active learning is experiential learning. It is project based and groups, children are put in groups, they are discussing. How lovely. Thank you so much. Galaxy M3, Lakshmi Venkat, please rename yourself. You can't just write it on chat, then I won't remember it again next time. Okay. All right. Interaction between the student and the teacher. Very good. Learning activity where students participate and interact. Excellent. Sumita is saying peer discussion. Wonderful. So at the lowest level, so active learning has 3 stages to it. 3 stages. Okay. Note down what I'm saying, and I hope you've taken a picture of the slide. Okay. At the lowest level is involvement of children and interaction of children at the lowest level. Children are talking to one another, they are discussing, they're interacting, they are participating, and 100% students are participating. That's at the lowest level. At the second level, are children thinking independently about that concept? That you as a teacher are giving them an opportunity to think independently. And at the highest level, children are actually constructing their own knowledge. They're not memorizing by rote, all right? And the National Education Policy 2020 comes down very, very strongly on rote learning, okay? It's coming down and saying, teachers, stop doing rote learning in the classrooms, move towards student-centric ways of teaching so that children not just interact and discuss, but what are the two more stages above that? That children are thinking independently. And above that, the final stage is that children are actually constructing their own knowledge. So Sorna Lata says we should be using problem solving and case study. Excellent. Jenny Preet, you're saying eagerly waiting to answer. Very good. But it's not just answering by a few students, Jenny. It also means 100% students are being able to answer, right? So remember, what are the three parts of active learning? Can I repeat it for you once? First, lowest stage is children interacting. Number two stage is that students are thinking independently. And number three stage is that children are constructing their own knowledge. When children construct their own knowledge, they are capable of applying that knowledge to real life, right? So remember this. Can you write down in the chat all the three stages for me now? Quickly, everyone. Can you write down all the three stages for me so that I know that you have understood? Can you quickly go on chat, please? And I'm also observing Shanmuga Priya, Hemavati, very good answers. Rajan is saying, make children busy with teaching or activity. Okay. Rajan, only by doing activity-based learning, you're not going to be doing active learning. Okay. Active learning requires children to think. Active learning requires that children should be given an opportunity to construct their own knowledge. Okay. So that we have three aspects. Correct. Aarti is saying correctly. Sushila is saying my voice is not clear. Sushila, my voice is going. Yeah, Sushila has now confirmed voice is there. Shanmuga Priya, actively engage, participate is only one part. Shanmuga, please write the other two parts also. Okay. Uh, Esther Jacqueline, I'm sorry, it is not just doing some random activity. No. Yes, it is doing activity, but beyond the activity, we need to get the teachers to think, sorry, the children to think. And we also need to get the children to construct their own knowledge so that they are capable of transferring that knowledge to real life. Okay, so that was the first part. The second part is the third pillar. So the first pillar was interaction. The second pillar was active learning. The third pillar is higher order thinking. Okay. Now, what is meant by higher order thinking? Higher order thinking is referring, I'm sure all of you would have thought about hots and lots, right? All of us are familiar with this term, hots and lots, higher order thinking. Correct, Anuradha? You're absolutely right. Higher order thinking means that there is lower order thinking also. Atira very nicely said, I'm glad that you have understood this. Oppo A3 is written it correctly. Maries is saying construction of knowledge. Anuradha is saying construct concept by their own. I'm so glad that you're all participating. I am really proud that all of you are answering so quickly. Really nice to know that. Okay. So what is higher order thinking? Let's look at that. All right. So higher order thinking is referring to the levels of thinking. Who has taught us about the levels of thinking? Do you know? It is Benjamin Bloom, and he created a taxonomy of thinking. Of course, he created this taxonomy in three domains: the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor domain. Right now, I'm only referring to uh, the cognitive domain. Okay. Now, in the cognitive domain, there are levels of thinking, right? These levels of thinking are then called, I don't know if anyone knows this or not, but I'm telling you, the lowest level is that the child can remember the name of the concept, right? Beyond that, second level is understanding. The child is able to understand what that concept is all about. The third level is application. that the children are able to apply whatever they are doing. And when active learning is happening, children come up to the third level. The fourth level is analysis. The children are able to compare and contrast and go beyond mere application. The fifth level is evaluating. All right. And the sixth level is creating. Okay. So there are 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So in the Bloom's taxonomy, we know for a fact that if our children are only at the first 2 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, then it means that there will be knowledge gaps. So now you're seeing I'm completing the loop. Okay. Why do children have knowledge gaps? Because they can remember it and they have understood it partially. They have not gone to the stage of application or analysis or evaluate or creating. They have not gone to that stage. And when children don't go to that stage, there are learning gaps in the children. Okay, so this is why it is important. Now I have another important question to ask you. Okay, my question is, do you know why creating is the highest level of thinking? Why is creating the highest level of thinking? Can people on Zoom and WhatsApp, sorry, and YouTube, please tell me, why is creating considered to be the highest level? I'm waiting for your response. Himavati, when you've given me Bloom's levels, you've forgotten the top 2. I think you were talking of HOTS probably. Yes, correct. Lata, very correct. Okay. Flani Joseph ma'am says, Joe's ma'am says, it involves everything that is said above. Something about new invention. Very true. So creativity or creating is at the highest because a person can be original only and only if he has been through all the levels up there. Am I right? It's only and only if the children are able to create something original, only when they're able to remember the concept, understand it, apply it, analyze it, evaluate it, only then they are able to create something original. Why do we need originality? Why do we need creativity? Okay, the reason is because any country, if it wants to move ahead, then it needs its population to invent new things. Look at what Amazon and Flipkart have done for our economy, isn't it? Sitting in the lockdown, we were able to get everything that we needed because there was an Amazon and because there was a Flipkart, correct? And it happened because of somebody's creativity. Today, you're seeing this session because of YouTube. Am I right? Or you're seeing it because of Zoom. So wasn't Zoom invented? Wasn't YouTube invented? Imagine if there was no Zoom, or imagine if there was no YouTube. Do you think we would have been able to interact like this? All of you are sitting in Tamil Nadu. I am in Pune, and we are interacting from thousands of miles away so easily in a jiffy. Look at the way the internet has made things. And this has happened because of somebody's invention. Am I right? So, inventions are necessary for human survival. The wheel was an invention, the fire was an invention. And only if a country continues to innovate, that company, that country where there's a lot of innovation happening, that country will be amongst the top superpowers in the world. Okay, let me tell you a very scary piece of information. In the year 2018, China had applied for 13 lakh 27,000 patents. Okay, 13,27,000 patents. In the same year, United States of America instead had applied for only 5,78,000 patents. Do you know how many patents did India apply for? You will be shocked to know that India had applied for only 30,000 patents, 30,328 patents. Where is 13 lakhs and where is 30,000? Can India ever become a superpower with this level of innovation in the country? The answer is no. But we can change. And how can we change? Only if we teachers decide to ensure that our children are creating new things every day, that they are able to create new things. And it all comes down to how we teach in our classes. Are we allowing our children to actually give answers on their own, or do we make them write down question answers in the copy exactly from the book, and only then do we give them full marks? What do we value as teachers? If we value perfect answers and we don't give any marks for creativity, even though they may be spelling errors, then we are sending a wrong signal to our children. Am I right? So remember this. Do we want India to be a superpower? Is the answer yes or is the answer no? If the answer is yes, today I want every teacher to pledge that she will develop higher order thinking skills in the children. It's only when we develop higher order thinking skills that India will move ahead. And I think we want children, we want India to move ahead. I think every teacher is a nation builder. We are not just doing a job from 7:30 in the morning to 1:30 in the afternoon. No, we are nation builders, and it is up to us teachers to ensure that India moves ahead. So start developing higher order thinking skills today in our students. Let's do that from today. Okay. Now the fourth pillar is formative assessment. Okay. Are we assessing our children formatively? Okay. Are we assessing them in an ongoing manner when we are teaching? Or are we only assessing them after a topic is taught? So I want to ask you, what is the difference between formative assessment and summative assessment? Can you tell me? I'm waiting for your answer on the chat. I'm waiting for a moment. What is the difference between formative assessment and summative assessment? Okay. I'm getting some very good responses from all of you. And thank you for continuing to respond so beautifully. I'm so grateful that all of you are responding. Very nice. Lani Jose ma'am, very good. Okay, Kumar Noruthin ma'am says formative is activity, summative is writing. I'm sorry, that's not the right answer. Kumar ma'am, there is something more and beyond that. Okay. Telagavati. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly or not, and please pardon me for that. Is saying formative assessment is continuous assessment. Very good. Nitya is saying FA is based on student activities, essay is based on exam activities. I'm still not getting the perfect answer. I'm not getting the difference. Navita Vijay says formative is monthly, summative is term. I'm sorry, Navita, there is a misunderstanding in your conception of what is formative and what is summative. There is some small misconception. I'm waiting for all of you to tell me. And I'm also looking at the chat. Yes, Gayatri from SBV, I'm hearing you. In between, analyze is called formative. Formative assessment is to monitor student learning and provide ongoing feedback to the students. Superb answer, Hema. I loved your answer. And what is summative? Hema, you didn't tell me that. Lata says, Anuradha says, formative assessment helps to understand the student's skills. Very correct. Okay, assessing the student by understanding their, okay. Let me explain in my own simple terms. I'm not going in a very hi-fi definition, but I want you to understand the difference between formative and summative very clearly before I move ahead. Okay, because this is important. All right. Now, let me tell you this with the help of a small story. Okay. So during the lockdown, just as the lockdown finished, my husband and I, we relocated from Delhi to Pune. All right. And when we came back to Pune, unfortunately, you know that situation in Pune is really bad. And at that time, there was a spurt in the cases. And once again, Pune declared a lockdown. So we were in lockdown for quite some time, eating whatever simple food that we got and going on. Once the lockdown completely opened, my husband came along and he tells me, he says, Aslesha, you haven't made idlis and dosas for a long time. Why don't you make idlis and dosas? And I'd love to have some. Okay. Now I'm a terrible cook, I must confess. I love doing online sessions, but I'm a really bad cook. And forgive me for that. My husband knows it and still is there around. Okay. Now what happened was that I started making the sambar, and he came around and he tasted the sambar. Okay. And he said, oh, the salt is very less. Okay. And after a few minutes, he came back. He said, okay, now taste it. Is it all right? So he says, yeah, sambar, the salt is okay, but I feel it's not spicy enough. Can you add a little more spice and make it a little more sour? Okay. So I made the sambar, my idlis were ready, and chutney was ready. And I called my parents, who also happened to be living in the same colony. Now, the first bite, and my father says, he says, Aslesha, what is this? The sambar has come out well, but look at the idlis. They're so hard. So now tell me, what was formative assessment and summative assessment in this? What was formative assessment and summative assessment in my example of making the food? What do you think? Okay, I'm getting some responses. Absolutely right. So formative is my husband coming and checking the salt or the sour or the spice levels. That was the formative assessment. When did formative assessment happen for me? When I was cooking, right? And what was summative assessment? When my father came and took the bite and said very hard idlis. So do you see the difference between the two? While I was cooking, I was able to modify. What did my husband give me? My husband gave me feedback. So what is the big difference between formative and summative? Formative is when something is being formed. Was sambar ready? No, it was being formed. So formative is something that is being formed, and summative is at the end. So any assessment that we are taking during the teaching, and some of you have said this very correctly. Rashmi has said it correctly, and Hello Kids has said it correctly, and Shen Baga is saying it correctly. All of you are getting it. I'm so glad that many of you understand this so beautifully. So the fact is that any assessment that is done when the teaching is happening, that is called formative. The purpose of formative is for the teacher to get information. What is this information? Are my children learning? That's the information, right? And what does the teacher do as a result of this information? The teacher modifies instruction. If you're simply taking a test and not doing anything after that, that means that is summative. Remember this, okay? Any test, when it is taken and you're not doing anything at the end of it, then that is summative, okay? So during versus during versus after. That is one difference. And the second thing is the change, the modifications that are brought about as a result of the feedback is the second difference. Informative, you can get the modifications and you can change it. Whereas in summative, you do not have the ability to change. Now, why is this important? Is because in India, whenever we take a test, the psychology is such, everybody wants to get lots of great marks. Every parent wants full marks, every student wants full marks, every teacher wants full marks, every principal wants full marks, everybody in the society wants full marks. And that, unfortunately, is where the problem happens. If everybody is getting full marks, then have children genuinely learnt is the issue. Because there is this whole thing towards marks, we don't really know if children can really apply the concept or not, isn't it? So it is important that we do a lot of formative assessment in the teaching learning process. Okay, and by doing this teaching and learning, by doing formative assessment, we have the ability to monitor which some children who are not getting the concepts and which are the children who are getting the concepts really quickly. So if you keep doing formative assessments, parents are not worried about formative assessments. So use formative assessments intelligently during this phase of teaching and learning. Let summative assessments continue as they are. I'm not changing those. I am suggesting that if you want to know the children who have learning gaps, do frequent formative assessments. Those frequent formative assessments will help you to know who are the children who have learning gaps, and while you are teaching, you can address those children. Are you getting the point that I'm saying? So I have spent almost 45 minutes on explaining this because this is the basis of our session today. If you can understand this very effectively, the next part of it will go zip zap zoom. So I'm repeating, what are the 4 pillars? Number 1, interaction. Student to teacher interaction, student to student interaction. Number 2, active learning. What was active learning? Students interaction, students thinking independently, students constructing their own knowledge. Higher order thinking, get your children to create original things and ask them questions at the higher order. And the fourth is formative assessment, which is continuously do formative assessment in order to understand who are the children, in order to identify the children who have learning gaps. That is the sum total of what I have explained. Okay, can you confirm if everyone has understood this? And wait for a minute over here, and I want to know if you have any questions at this point. And Durga, if there are any questions that I miss, if you can kindly ask me those. Okay, I'm just waiting for a minute. Okay, Arun Karthik says that he liked my example. Thank you for that. Okay, any questions on what we have discussed so far? Otherwise, I will go ahead. Lani Joseph says, Jose, are you Jose or Jose? I don't know. It's clear. I'm glad to know. Lani is attending very carefully. I can see her on my screen, and I'm so glad that you're participating so well. Thank you for that, Fanny. Lani or Flaney, I don't know. I am continuously massacring your name, I think. Okay. Lakshmi ma'am, I'm glad to know that you're understanding. Nitya, you've raised your hand. I'm sorry I can't allow you to speak. Will you write your question on the chat, Nitya? Okay, Arun Karthik says, I'm doing very well. Thank you for that. Yay, yay, yay for me. I'm glad all of you are enjoying. So good to know that. Okay, so I think all of you are kind of clear. Even later, if you have a problem, please put it on chat. I am here to help you. I will not leave the session without clarifying all your doubts. Okay, let's move ahead now. Okay, now moving ahead, I'm going to share a case study with, in fact, I think think I'm going to leave this case study. Okay. The question I'm now asking is do teachers contribute to the problem of 100% students not learning 100% concepts? Is it yes or no? We've seen that there is an issue with technology. We've seen that there's an issue with parents. There's an issue with children themselves. We agree with all that. I want to know from you, is there a problem in, are teachers a part of the problem as well? I want to know this from you now. Okay, Shakti says yes. Okay. I want to hear from all the others. Satyavani, SBV, Nitya Jagdish, please respond, everyone. I'm going to start calling out your names. Huh? I can see all of you because Jayakumar, T. Andrews, Shiny Moses, Revati. I want everyone to respond. Lakshmi has also responded, yes. Thank you for that, Lakshmi. You're being a very active participant. You, Hemavati, Flini, Uma Gauri is saying yes. Everyone is saying yes. Okay. Rehan says teachers don't contribute. Arun, you're also saying teachers don't contribute. Okay. I don't know whether your answer of no is to my earlier question or this question. I'm sorry. Can you just confirm, Arun? Razia, can you confirm what are you saying no for? Because I've asked multiple questions and there's a little lag in the YouTube responses. So I'm trying to move ahead. Kalai ma'am is saying yes. Okay, teachers contributing the answer. Everyone is saying yes. Okay. So the fact is that we ourselves contribute to the problem a great deal at times, isn't it? And we need to understand that we can't do anything about technology. Let's face facts, right? We can't do anything about parents. Parents will be parents. They will interfere. They will criticize us. It's okay. What we can do and what is within our own circle of influence and our own circle of concern, beyond the circle of concern, is if we can change what we are doing and how we are doing it. If we can do change what we are doing and how we are doing it, then we are done. Okay? So I want you to think for a moment and tell me, how do we change? How do we bring change in ourselves? What change do we need to bring in ourselves? Okay? I want everyone to think of that now. How do we bring this change in ourselves? Because it's no point. I may do a session and I'm gone from your life. Who will bring change in our lives? Only we ourselves. Change only happens when we decide. Only then change happens. Otherwise, change does not happen. So who is going to bring this change? I. Each one of us have to bring this change, right? And what change do we want to bring? Okay, I'm waiting for people to respond on Zoom and on YouTube as well. Quickly respond. Tell me what you have to say. How can we bring this change in ourselves? Forget everyone else. Let's see what we can do for ourselves. Okay. Hema is saying a very good response. Hema, I am extremely grateful that you're so participative. Sessions are to be more interactive. Thank you. Do a perfect session plan. So planning is important. Lovely, Hema. Thank you for that. I want to hear from the others as well. No one's responding on Zoom. Sumita is saying do activities. Okay. I think it's not just enough doing activities. You have to see if your activities have active learning. Are they encouraging interaction? Are they encouraging higher order thinking? Are they encouraging children? Are you assessing children formatively? So just doing activities is not enough. You have to make sure that the 4 pillars we talked about are incorporated in your activities. Okay. Shakti is saying a very nice thing. Teacher is the one who has to change in handling the class. Instead of asking what is what, try to get the answer from what they have said. Very nice. Okay, motivate them, bring formative, that will bring change. Very true. Good. So let me share how we have to manage learning gaps. Okay, how do we manage learning gaps? Let's think for ourselves. Okay, so what we need to do, okay, before I go ahead, I want to actually do this case study with you. Okay, let's do this case study. This is a teacher whose class I personally observed. What happened was, this 45-minute class, Rekha Sharma taught a topic on, this was an online topic, in which she covered the topics that were given below. It was the class 6 topic, structure of leaf. She taught the structure of leaf, video, venation, types of leaves, functions of leaves, special leaves. This is all the topics that she taught. And then for homework, she gave a worksheet based on the question answers. I found during the observation that the teacher had worked very hard, but the lesson was not effective. Why? Why do you think the lesson was not effective? Okay. I'm going to wait for your responses. And you have to look at it from the lens of the 4 pillars that we talked about. From what are the 4 pillars? I'm reminding you again: interaction, then you had active learning, higher order thinking, and formative assessment. Can you tell me, based on these 4 pillars, what do you find? So this was a lesson that I observed personally. Okay. So what do you think? Sangeeta is saying no healthy communication, no interaction. Telgavati, can you go ahead of interaction? Sangeeta is saying no communication. Shakti is saying real leaf has to be discussed. So true. Okay. No interaction, Yamuna is saying. What about the other pillars? Now, one is interaction. So we've seen no interaction. Do we see active learning, evidence of active learning? Do we see evidence of active learning? The answer is no. The teacher is well prepared. The teacher is well prepared, but the children did not learn. Did you see what is the difference? Hence, teaching is not equal to learning. Are you understanding? Instead of PPT, if you teach practically, it will be more effective, says Aarti. Right? So there's no involvement of students. There's no active learning happening. The next, can we see if teachers asking higher order questions? When she asked questions, and I know that Rekha did ask questions, so I found that mostly they were lower order questions. And unfortunately, only 3 or 4 students kept repeatedly answering. So there was no higher order question happening. So did she get the children to think ahead at a higher level? The answer is no. Number 4, next point. Do we see any evidence of formative assessment? Did she come to know who were the students who did not understand? The answer is again no. So on all the 4 counts, the teacher is working hard. The teacher is working hard. But on all the 4 counts, the lesson is not effective because of the absence of these 4 important pillars. And I think in our own classes, we need to now reflect and actually see what is happening in our own classes. Okay, and I want you to reflect on this question. Take a paper and pencil. Take a paper and pencil. And now I want you to reflect and tell me your marks. You don't have to share your marks. Do it personally. Okay. I want you to tell me, do you use learning, active learning in all your periods? In every single period, are you using active learning? Score yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, score yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 means children that I am doing this all the time, and 1 means I don't do this at all. Okay, So score yourself and truly score it. You don't have to share the score with me. It's all right. I only want you to do it for yourself. Okay. Do you use active learning in every period? Give yourself marks out of 10. Do you use at least 5 HOTS questions in all your classes, in all your periods? Number 3, do you use formative assessment in all your classes? Give yourself a score from 1 to 10. Okay. Number 4, do you analyze the data that is coming from formative assessment? Are you analyzing the data coming from formative assessment? Okay. Number 5 is, do you modify the way you teach based on the data from formative assessment? Give yourself a score from 1 to 10. Do you check prior knowledge for every student before every chapter? Okay, so where are you today? Have you given yourself marks? Now I want to know the answer to this question, and it's an important question. Do you need to change your methodology? Answer yes or no on the chat. Answer yes or no on the chat. Do you need to change your methodology? Okay, I'm waiting for a moment. Zoom people can respond very quickly over here itself. People on Zoom, I want to see you responding. Please respond quickly. Okay, Uma is saying yes. Jaya Kumar is saying yes. Sumita is saying yes. I'm so glad that you're being honest. Sangeeta is saying yes. Nitya is saying yes. Geeta is saying yes. If there are any principals over here today, or HODs or vice principals or coordinators, Kala is saying a little bit I need to change. Okay, Geeta is an HOD. Can you confirm, do you think your teachers or the teachers who are under your charge need to change? People like Geeta or anyone else who's an HOD over here, can you confirm that people who are in your charge, the teachers who are in your charge, need to change? Okay, Sarita is saying no. So Sarita, I hope you're being honest that you don't need to change. And I'm assuming that you're doing everything superbly. And I'm so glad to know that you are doing things superbly, because if you're saying no, I believe you. If you mean if you think you need to change, right, yes. If you think you don't need to change, right, no. And so far, Sarita Ramesh is the only one who said no. So, all right, I will accept that. Hello Kids, Shiksha Play School says yes. Vidya Nandini says yes. Pon Swarna says yes. Netra says yes. Arun Karthik says yes, we need to change our methodology. Okay, Mekhala is also saying yes. Ramapriya is also saying yes. Wonderful. So I'm glad that I have educators who are being truthful in accepting that we need to change. So how do you change is the issue now that we will discuss. Okay, how do we manage? And what is the plan for 21-22? So I've got a model for you, which I want you to take a picture of. This will help you and guide you. If you are a principal or you're an HOD or you're a coordinator or the vice principal, please make sure that you are taking a picture of this and sharing it with your teachers on Monday when the school reopens, so that together you can follow this model for next year. I can guarantee you this, even if you do 50% of this, you will have a lot of success in managing the learning gaps of your students. So what do we need to do? The first thing, like Hemavati said, is plan, plan, plan. If you don't plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Remember this. So remember, planning is the key. All of us are now busy with the exams, etc. I'm sure the exams will finish very soon, and the schools will close for summer vacations. Let us create a plan before schools close for summer vacations, so that preparations can be done for this plan right away. What do we need to do in that plan? There are two steps that we need to take. Okay, there are two steps that we need to take. The first step is we need to analyze our curriculum. Okay, what we have to do is we have to analyze which concepts from this year, from the current year, session 2021, are critical for students to know for the following years. Okay, identify concepts that are critical that children must know for the next year. Okay, that's one. And number two, you have to re-look at your syllabus for next year. There is no point in doing 100% of your syllabus for next year, because you will have to take out time for doing and redoing some part of this year's syllabus as well. All right. So relook at next year's syllabus from two perspectives. From this year's perspective, which are the critical concepts that have to be retaught? Identify that first. And number two, identify which are the concepts, the critical concepts that are non-negotiable for, for the students for next year as well. And what is it that we can reduce and not do? You will have to inform parents well in advance that there is a slight change in the curriculum for the year, and this is the curriculum that we will be following. This is required so that you are able to actually do justice to the children. All right, so that is step one. Analyze the curriculum. Okay. Number two, create a bridge program. Okay, there is no other way to manage this. Create a bridge program. First step in that would be to identify students who need help. Now, this is a very big question. How do you identify students who need help? Okay, I'm going to explain it in a minute. So first step is identify all the students who need help. These could be children who don't have technology, who've not understood many of the concepts. They've done very badly in the exams. You have to find out who these students are, right? And even bright students at times may not have understood some of the concepts very clearly. So you have to do both the things. You have to identify children who are weak. You have to identify concepts that children have not understood. So both the things have to be done, right? And then you have to come up with a bridge program for remedial work, which is covering the last year's syllabus. Once the school reopens, it is preferable that you do a minimum 1 month or at least a 3 weeks bridge program for students. Okay, in which you will teach the topics that are critical topics once again. Those critical topics are the ones based on which children will have a good foundation to move ahead. Okay, so please make sure that you are creating a bridge program. Now, what you have to do is for next year, you must use learning outcomes. Now, both CBSE and NCERT have come out with documents of learning outcomes. If you just go to Google and you write down learning outcomes, NCERT, learning outcomes, CBSE, you will get the documents. And those documents very clearly state the learning objectives and the learning outcomes. Now, using those learning outcomes, you have to create question papers for every learning outcome, create 5 or 6 questions and give it and administer it to your students. Then you will know whether children have really grasped those topics or not, and those learning objectives or not. And once you have identified which ones are those, what topics are those, then you will be able to actually put those children into the bridge program. Are we clear about this much? I'm moving ahead, but I want to ask you a question. Are we clear about this much? How the planning for next year is to be done? I'm waiting for a moment. If there are any questions, please ask. Please feel free to ask. Flaney has said yes. Jayakumar has said yes. I'm glad to know both of you have understood. Can some of the others also respond? If there's everything is clear so far, you need any explanation? T. Andrews, Namita, Yamuna, Revti, Shami Moses, Niveta, Jhansi. Can all of you please tell me if you've understood? And my friends who've joined me on YouTube, can you also confirm? Yeah. Rama is saying yes. Fire Giants is saying yes. Good. Hemavati is saying very clear. Very good. Okay. So the first part is planning. Let's plan effectively for our 2021-22 session. The second step, the corollary to that. So I've in fact given you 3 points. One is planning. Planning is analyzing. Then you're doing a bridge program, right? That is number 2. Number 3 is changing the methodology that you are using. Changing the methodology that you are using for the next year. If you don't change your methodology and if you continue to do what you did this year, results will not change. If you genuinely want to change, and all of you have said that you do want to change, then the method to change would be to use flipped and blended learning for the entire session of 2021-22. Because the truth is, we still don't know if and when our schools will reopen. We don't know when our schools will reopen. If there's a second wave or a third wave, for example, Pune and Bombay are already in the grasp of the second wave. Despite the vaccination and that's happening in a big way in Pune and Bombay, things are not in a good condition. If Tamil Nadu, the same thing happens, again, your state government will not allow schools to reopen. So let us plan for a hybrid version of teaching next year, and let's plan for it from now on, rather than waiting to say, we'll see how it happens and then we'll plan. No, let's plan from now on, and the best way to do it would be to use a flipped and a blended learning approach. Okay. Now, how do we do it? The broad features of this approach. Number 1, you're going to step 1 is, and I'm going to explain this in a little more detail in a few minutes, but I'm just giving you the overview. First, do a pre-lesson learning gaps check for every child, every lesson. In fact, for every subtopic. For every subtopic, create learning outcomes based on NCERT and then do a check. Do my children know this? If they don't know, don't teach ahead, cover up the gaps immediately. Please understand, right? That's first. Second step, analyze data that you get from prior learning and modify your teaching. That's the second step. Third step, when you do teach through experiential learning, teach using HOTS, teach using active learning. All right. So that's the third step. When you're teaching, teach using experiential learning, teach using active learning, teach using higher order thinking. Right. The fourth point is continuously do formative assessment. Don't worry about summative assessments, but use formative assessment in every period to understand, are there children who have learning gaps? Don't wait to do the same problem at the end of 21, 22, and 22, 23 session also gets compromised. We don't want that. Okay. So we want children for you to address the issue from the beginning. Don't wait to resolve problems. Change so that the problems don't happen. See what I'm saying? Don't become a doctor where you have to go and get medicine. From now on, change what you're doing so that problems only don't happen. All right? That is what I'm saying. And lastly, have continuous remedial action for children who have learning gaps. Don't wait to find out. That is why I'm saying use formative assessments very, very effectively. Now, do you see how the pedagogical pillars are actually feeding into this model, right? So keep this in mind. I'm again waiting for 1 minute. and asking you if there's anyone who has any questions on this. Please confirm that you've understood, or if you have a question, please write it on the chat. Yamuna is saying understood. Good. Okay, Lakshmi is also saying clear. Thank you. I'm waiting for my friends on YouTube to also answer in case there are any questions, and we can take them up right now because I won't be able to come back to this later. Okay. All right. I think everyone is clear. Aarti is saying very clear. Thank you. You're welcome, all of you. All right. Razia is also saying very clear. Good. I'm so glad that things are clear to you. Please don't feel shy in asking me questions. Okay. I love questions. Please do ask if you have anything at all. Okay. So the key message is, let's change the way we teach. Let's bring rigor to our lesson. And the best approach that we can use is the flipped and the blended learning approach. Okay. Now, how and what do we do? Let's see. Please remember to keep taking photographs of each slide that I'm showing so that you have it with you. Particularly those who are in leadership positions, please remember to take pictures so that you can go home, go back on Monday and start discussing how you can implement this. So what you need to do for next year is that when you are planning, divide every single lesson into different periods. Okay. Then write down the subtopics that you want to teach and write it down at lower level of Bloom's taxonomy and higher level of Bloom's taxonomy. Divide every single period into three parts: before, during, and after. Three parts. There's a before. That means that each topic is taught in three parts. There's a before part, there's a during part, and there's a after phase. And I'm not talking about the chapter. I'm talking about every period. Whatever you are teaching in every single period has to be divided into three parts: before, during, and after. The teacher is only present with the child in the during part. The teacher is not present with the child in the before and the after part. Okay, remember this. Now let's move ahead. Take a picture of this and then I will explain it. Okay, I hope you've taken a picture. Now what we need to do in this is, in the before the topic, in the before section, when the children are at home, okay, we will prepare a prior knowledge worksheet on the topic. Okay, the prior knowledge worksheet is to be given on Google Forms. You don't have to correct. Use technology effectively, people, because you don't have to do everything. And that is what we have learned in the past 10 months, is that we can use technology, right? So use Google Forms, create a small quiz. Many of you might be using Microsoft Teams, or you may be using the Google Classroom. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Use a Google form or a Microsoft Forms to be able to make a prior knowledge worksheet. The prior knowledge worksheet is linked to the learning outcomes that was taught of the prior knowledge for this particular topic. Find out how many children have done. All you have to do is you have to administer it. Then create a small video, not more than 4 to 5 minutes, teaching whatever topic you have to teach tomorrow, the simpler parts of that topic. Create a video on that. The simpler parts, not the complicated parts. Okay. So for example, if the topic is structure of plants, the basic, okay, Nitya is asking me what is Bloom's taxonomy. Nitya, Bloom's taxonomy is a taxonomy that was given by Benjamin Bloom, and it is what is used for creating question papers by the board exams. So Nitya, my request to you is, tell your school to conduct a session on Bloom's taxonomy, because all teachers must know Bloom's taxonomy. It is a must know. It is not a could know. Okay. So to come back to our topic. So first step, do a prior knowledge worksheet. Second step, create a video. And whatever you're going to teach tomorrow, Teach the simpler parts of that topic in that video. Then third step, give a hands-on activity that children can do sitting at home. Okay, now remember, you can see we are bringing in active learning already. Can you see it? We are bringing active learning already. Now, this in the fourth step is follow it up with another quiz. Again, the quiz is on Google Forms. Now, what you have to do is before tomorrow's period, you have to look at both these quizzes and you will see what are the learning gaps of my children. If there are very severe learning gaps, don't teach ahead, address those learning gaps. Take an extra period and address those learning gaps, right? And look at the results of the quiz to see if children have understood what you have taught them in the video. So 4 steps again. Number 1, prior knowledge worksheet on Google Forms. Small video explaining it, explaining the topic, very in a very simple way. Then a hands-on activity and a quiz. So all these 4 things can be done. Okay, and then you do. All right, Nitya, you're telling me this is Greenmount International School. And Nitya, please do go ahead and get a session organized for your school if you feel there is a need. Okay. All right. Moving on ahead. In the time that the teacher is with the students. Now the teacher knows who are the children who are weak, who are the children who have learning gaps. Both things have already been understood. When the teacher is teaching, whether it is you're teaching online or whether you're teaching face to face, always have a starter activity. Okay, 3 to 4 minutes only. Then teacher teaches the topic not more than 3 to 5 minutes. Then pose questions using of higher level questions to students at random. If you're doing it on online, get students to respond on chat the way I am doing right now, because I know out of the 100 and something people that are watching me right now, how many of you are answering very quickly. I know, and I know the ones who appear to be here but actually we may be mentally somewhere else, doing something else, correcting or doing some other work, and just listening, without participating. But as teachers, we cannot accept this. So pose questions at higher level, get every student to respond. Okay. Then if there is a video, you can show a video. Then once again, do hands-on activities and group activities, or else group activities if you're in face-to-face teaching, and then recap the points. Now you'll see that I'm using lots and lots of activities. Can you confirm that you can see active learning happening? Yes? Can you see higher order thinking is happening? Can you see formative assessment is happening? Can you see that interaction is happening? Student to teacher and student to student interaction is happening. So this model actually is making all the pillars of pedagogy come alive, right? Now, once we have done this, then we move on to after. What kind of a homework can you give, right? So I'm proposing a revolutionary idea over here. Think about it. Create WhatsApp groups of 4 or 5 students. Okay, just 4 or 5 students, create WhatsApp groups. And instead of giving only individual homework, also give a group task homework. Okay, by giving a group task homework, children will get together and they will discuss those topics, they will discuss that task. And I will explain to you how it happens in a minute. I'm going to show you a lot of examples about this. And you can see that children are discussing the topics together. Then after that, provide for individual practice using technology. Macmillan themselves have a lot of resources which you can use. For maths and for senior science, you can use Khan Academy. There are many sites free of cost For example, Macmillan's resources are completely free of cost. Khan Academy is free of cost. You can use these resources and you can actually get children to start practicing on their own. Okay, so do that. Then once again, take a Google Forms quiz or a Microsoft quiz so that you know now how much have the children understood. Okay, I'm again waiting over here and I want to know what will be the impact of this kind of teaching on students' knowledge. Do you think the learning gaps will reduce as a result of using this model? Can you tell me? What is the impact on students of using this kind of a model? I'm waiting for the response, everyone. Niveta, Sujata, Jayalakshmi, Tilagavati, Ambika, Lakshmi, Amuda, Shakti. I want to see all of you to respond, please. Karpagam, Ragila, Rizwana, Josme, Karthik. Oh, Karthik is from Amazon, sorry. Geeta, Arushi. I want everyone to respond. Flaney says, students will learn better, ma'am. Very true. By changing our methodology, we are going to create a class where children have the opportunity to learn better. Jayakumar says, students will learn with interest. Very nice. Very correct. Learning gaps can be reduced, says Netra. Correct? They will gain confidence, says Geeta. Yamuna says they will clearly understand the concepts. Very nice. There will be curiosity among the children, says Lakshmi. Thank you, Lakshmi. Srividya says, surely the learning gaps will be bridged. Shakti Priya says, no learning gaps. Children will enjoy it. Students and teachers will be in the loop of learning. Very nice. Athira says they will construct their knowledge on their own. So you see, if we change the way we teach, then we have a greater probability of having fewer learning gaps, one, and number two, fewer children having learning gaps. Both the things, right? Children will be very active, says Amuda. Ilgavati says learning will be easy and students will be active. Free Fire Giant says students understand the concept. Very nice. Rita, you're giving me answers about formative and summative. Thank you for that. Shanmuga Priya says students will learn to think out of the box. Very good. Very nice. So this is the model that I would suggest that you adopt from next year. Okay, here is the example. So in fact, we adopted this model this year itself. I've been doing the sessions from the month of March after life went in a lockdown. And till date, I have trained more than 15,000 teachers. 15,000 teachers on how they can change the way that they teach in order to ensure that they are learning the right way of teaching. Okay, so the same plan, how did we help the teacher to change? Okay, so now first thing we told, don't teach too much in one period, reduce what you're teaching. So cover the same content in 2 periods. Look at the way that we have made the teachers write the objectives, lower level objectives and higher level objectives, right? Many of you are saying, what is the impact? Teaching will be equal to learning. Avita, so nice. I love what you said. Lovely. Thank you for that. Concepts will be very clear. Children will be able to think out of the box. Very good. So I'm so glad that I'm getting all the responses from all of you. Now to come back to our lesson, divide the objectives into higher level of Bloom's taxonomy and lower level of Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. And then based on that, before done at home, teacher is not there. Prior knowledge worksheet on parts of the plant, on structure of the plant, hands-on activity, draw leaf on real life, looking at a real leaf, finding a leaf online. The video is on what is a leaf and its characteristics that the teacher explains. Then one more hands-on activity is given. A PPT is given by the teacher and along with an observation sheet. And children look at plants around their house and they fill up that observation sheet. Okay. Can you see higher order thinking happening, independent learning, knowledge construction? We're already giving a children a chance to do all that over here, right? And then second quiz on Google Forms. And then teacher checks the results of both the quizzes to see if there are learning gaps and if students have understood the content taught in the video. Okay. Now, when the lesson starts, she starts with a KWL activity. KWL stands for what they know, what they want to know, and what they have learned. KWL. K is for what they know. K for know. What do they want to know? W is want to know. And L is what did they learn? So typically K and W is done before the, the lesson is started, and L is always done. Uh, Correct. And oh, Shakti Priya is here. She says this is SNV Global School. We have learned because of you. Shakti, I am so glad to hear you saying this. And you have, in fact, done all this. So I'm so glad to know that it's been working. Do share your experience with everyone. How did it work? Because I think everybody will benefit from it. Okay. So start your concepts through the KWL strategy. Then teacher does a recap of the definition and characteristics, and she asks questions at random. Then she uses a PPT and a video to explain about the different structure of the plant. Then she takes 3 leaves from different plants, and children are asked to make a leaf impression. And once again, another observation sheet is given, and children are asked to actually fill in what is the type of leaf and the type of venation. Okay. For children who did poorly in the quiz in the before phase, teacher explains the topic once more. So it's not that you're leaving the children just because you've taught them in the video, that you're not going to teach again. No. While other children are doing the activity at that point in time, you will take this group and you will work with them. Then after that, the teacher will debrief on the points that differentiate the venation. And then finally, there is a recap. Okay. Shenbaga, I do not share the PPT. That is why time and again, I've been saying, please take pictures. That is why I've been telling you, take the pictures. I'm sorry, I cannot share the PPT, but you can take pictures. There's no problem. Okay. Now, what happens after the class? The lesson flow. There's a group that is made on WhatsApp. A PPT is given with unlabeled leaves of dicots or monocots. Children have to label the parts and identify the difference between the two types of leaves. That is what we are doing as a group task. Then children are asked to use the phone. Use a simple mobile phone. Use a simple mobile phone and ask children to download the magnifier app. Okay. And really scrutinize the leaf at close quarters and do that. That is what is done. And then another quiz is given. All right. So as you can see over here, the same lesson that was where there was no interaction happening, no active learning, no higher order thinking, no formative assessment, all these 4 points we have incorporated in these lessons. Here's an example for mathematics. I'm not explaining it. You can simply take a picture of this. I will wait for a minute for you to take a picture. All right. Same thing is being followed. Okay, before, during, and after. Okay, here's an example from social studies on the topic of climate for class 9. Take a picture. All the social studies teachers, take a look at this. And if you take a picture of all the slides, you will realize that I'm using a different way to do a starter and a recap. I've shown you different strategies inside this only. That will be very, very useful. Rajan Jenny is saying it's very useful, ma'am. We will apply it in upcoming years. I'm so glad to know that. Shenbaga is also saying really nice. I'm so glad. Okay. So this was an example of social studies. Here's an example of English, Hindi, or Tamil. Suppose you're teaching nouns. The same activity you can do. Okay. Take a look at this. Task 4. Mathematics slide, very useful. Saying Lakshmi. I'm so glad, Lakshmi, that you found this useful. Okay. So that was the English slide. And here is the same example for pre-primary, because I know many of you are pre-primary teachers over here today. So I'm giving you an example for what can be done pre-primary. Exactly same method. I've not changed. Except in pre-primary, we are not going to do prior knowledge worksheet because children are too young and they have no prior knowledge, right? So there's no need to ask children to do prior knowledge. You can straight away go ahead and do it. Okay. So this is what is the way that we can teach. I'm just showing you the examples again, just in case you didn't take the pictures. I'm just going back. Okay, once again, I'm going back. In case any of you didn't take a picture, because I'm about to conclude the session, I want to ensure that all of you have taken the right pictures. This was the model of the overview. Shenbaga, please take the pictures now in case you haven't taken it so far. At least you'll have the main points. Yeah. Okay. Then this is the sample plan on structure and functions of leave. Whoever's annotating, kindly stop. I will remove you from the session otherwise. Kindly do not annotate. Okay. Then this is the before part. This is the before part. This is the during part. This is the during part. Okay. This is the after part. Okay. This is the next lesson, which is the, one second. Okay, this is the maths example. This is the maths example. Lakshmi, in case you haven't been able to take a picture, you could. Then this is the SST example. Okay, this is the English example. This is the pre-primary example. Okay, and here are some suggestions for you to use for being able to be an effective teacher. You need to understand your students first. That is the most important thing. Understand each and every student sitting in front of you. Okay, create a personal connect with the children. Next, ensure that you engage every single student. All right. Ensure that you're using attention grabbing strategies, communicate clearly, and consider accommodations for students with diverse abilities. Okay, so now I want to know from you, what did you learn from today's session? Out of everything that we discussed today, what is the one thing that you will apply in your classroom from Monday? I want to know that. Let's see, all of you go back to chat and quickly write down. Jacqueline, I gave the example of nouns. Did you not see that? Esther, Jacqueline, I gave you the example of nouns. All right, I had told you that how to do it. Okay. I want to, don't write many very useful, very useful. Tell me, what did you learn? Be pinpointed in what you have learned, because that tells me how successful I have been as a teacher. Okay. Lakshmi is saying, I must engage all the students. Sangeeta is saying, interesting way of teaching. Okay. How to divide the session before, during, I have understood. Good, Jai Kumar. Arun Karthik, I'm so glad you've enjoyed the session. And Esther is also saying, Flaney is saying, asking more questions. Mangal is saying, we should have a hybrid plan. Hero is saying, how to change the teaching methodology. Lakshmi is saying, each and every student should participate with more interest. You've hit the nail on the head, Lakshmi. Thank you for saying that. HSSC chairperson Saroj Mani is saying KWLL sheet. I'm so glad, ma'am, that you joined us. Available new generation is saying more interaction, giving opportunities to students to think and apply. And Sushila is saying try to understand the students' ability and encourage them. Very nice. Flaney is saying using technology effectively. Good. Good reflections coming up. I'm really proud of all my teachers who've done so well. Kalai is saying, I learned how to manage the particular period of mine. Good. Kalai, very pinpointed observation. I thank you for that. Shakti Priya says, from SNV Global School, we learned because of you. We learned formative assessment, higher order thinking, participation, all because of you. Oh, I'm so touched. You've made my day, Shakti. Thank you so much. Teachers' responsibility in closing the learning gaps. Hello, kids from Shiksha Play School. Again, very good point. I love this point. Thank you. Aarti is saying, I should learn from today's session how to fill in the learning gaps. Steps to improve the HOTS. That's what he's saying. Someone's saying, very glad to attend this session. I've learned a lot, says Nitya. Shakti Priya saying, learn economies development with education because of you. There will be change in the teaching method. And you're saying because of you. No, darling, I may have actually said it, but Shakti, it is you and the rest of the teachers in your school who are implementing it. So there is no you. There is only all of us together. We are all responsible for the nation's development, and all of us together can bring this change. I want to leave you with this message that all of us together, hand in hand, will take this country forward. And that's the only way the country will progress. So thank you to all of you for joining us for this session. It's exactly 12 o'clock. In fact, I'm 3 minutes past. And I would like to conclude this session by giving a huge round of thanks to Macmillan, who have supported teachers by bringing sessions to them completely free of cost, and extremely good resource people. I am honored to be a part of this session, and I'm so glad that I got the opportunity of talking to all of you, of sharing and spreading some thoughts that I had. I'm so glad to know that all of you found this session very useful. Your love and affection really means a lot to me. I'm sharing my personal email ID and my phone number. Do drop a note to me, an email to me, or a WhatsApp to me. This is my WhatsApp number. So do, drop a WhatsApp. Whenever you try something, I would love to know. These days, like film stars, I get fan mails, and it has really shocked me, but I'm very happy about it. So I'm sharing my number with you. Please do share your feedback, your your thoughts about whenever you're finding problems, also share those. I'm very prompt at responding. So I'd love to hear from all of you. And a very big thank you to Raju, as well as Soumya and Durga, and the rest of the team Macmillan for having organized the session today. Thank you from my side, and over to you.
Thanks to you, ma'am.
Soumya,
Suruchi, can you
Durga.
please make Durga the co-host?
Durga, can you unmute yourself? Otherwise,
Suruchi, could you
I
please
have
make
to
Durga
unmute
the
you.
co-host?
Just give me a moment. I'll allow you to be unmuted. Give me a moment. Yeah, Durga, you can unmute yourself now.
Thank you, ma'am. A very beautiful session. All the teachers had. Now I just I heartily invite. I heartily welcome Mr. Jagdish GJ, Senior Business Development Manager, Alexa Amazon. He is currently driving the business development across verticals within Alexa as part of the partnership team. He handles categories such as music, education, lifestyle, and travel. We have other team members from Alexa to help answer our queries are Swapna Budhanda, Senior Product Manager, Alexa Education, Vijay Sharma, Marketing Lead, Alexa, Arushi Dhiminja, Marketing Manager, Alexa, and Karthik Raghupati, Solution Architect, Alexa. Over to you, Jag.
Okay, thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, Jagdish.
Oh, great, great. So what I will do is, and ma'am, Aslesha ma'am, thanks for your wonderful session. We were very fortunate to listen in for the last half an hour, 40 minutes. It was very exciting to go back and listen and understand the problems as well as the innovative way in which you guys are moving forward. So very, very helpful in that regard. And thanks to all of you for driving that.
Bye from my side, everyone, and over to you, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So what we have, and I'm just taking ahead from where Aslesha ma'am left off. I'm just trying to share my screen. Okay. I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes, Jagdish.
Okay. Great. So we have a very quick session, nothing to bore you guys with. Essentially, we wanted to talk about some of the stuff that we've been doing along with the Macmillan team, and that is specifically to cater to the learning gaps and bringing in the technology that can help aid as we move forward, especially in these days of remote learning. We wanted to bring in a kind of learning that's kind of like different from the learning that we've seen before, much more interactive, so that the students sitting at home doesn't feel it's like a lot of information is just given to them and they need to consume and learn, but they feel as if at least some semblance of the classroom environment is there available at their home as well. And that's where Alexa comes in. So Alexa, along with Macmillan, has partnered, and we have recently launched a Macmillan Altura Alexa experience. And in this session, what I will do is I will quickly talk about what Alexa is. I'm sure you may have heard of this term somewhere, but just to give you an insight, here, what we are working on, we believe that voice is the most intuitive form of human communication, and that's the best way to access and interact with technology without having no prior knowledge that you may need for it, right? So you can directly talk to technology, get what you want from it, and what technology enables is that it can collate the information from everywhere across the globe and bring to you at at your own voice, right? At the prompt of your own voice. So now, when you talk about Alexa, right? The idea with which we are moving Alexa is that now it is going to be part of our everyday lives, right? So you may have already seen Alexa as part of a lot of devices. We also have an Alexa as an app, a companion app. And what Alexa does today is that the moment you ask Alexa, either for some information, she gives you that, or if you ask for some music or entertainment content, she gives you that. So anything and everything that you can think about that can be delivered over voice, we are currently providing through Alexa, right? And the idea is we already seeing that there are a lot of devices in which Alexa is built in, so that wherever you go, you can always have Alexa, just similar to how you say at the tip of a touch. This is like a tip of your tongue, right? It's just a voice away. So in order to understand the Alexa family, I think many of us may have identified it with a lot of devices which has Alexa, such as the smart speakers, or even we have it in Fire TV, and all these devices which has Alexa built in within that. But that doesn't stop any of the users from Alexa getting Alexa, even the ones who doesn't have device, because Alexa is also available in the form of a direct app which is downloadable from either Google Play Store or an Apple iOS store, right? Now, we have gone even beyond that very recently, and this is now available as part of the Amazon Android shopping app as well, right? And I will show you a slide where how you can access that. So the idea with which we are going is that while there are a host of devices that you can purchase and use Alexa at your home or wherever you go, we are moving one step ahead and saying that Alexa can be available anywhere using an app on your own mobile, right? So you don't need to go and search or buy a device for that. But even without that, Alexa is going to be there around you. With that context in mind, we just want to show you how we are perceiving the education and how Alexa is going to play an important role in that. I'm just going to play a short video, and just let me know if you guys can hear the sound from it. Just a sec. Can you hear the sound?
Hey, no, Jay. We
Okay.
can't hear you.
Okay. Just changing the.
एक अनोखी पाठशाला देखो कैसे.
Oh, can you hear?
Yeah, it was audible now.
Okay. Okay, just starting.
एक अनोखी पाठशाला देखो कैसी चल पड़ी. नन्हा सा बचपन मगर है ख्वाहिशें बड़ी बड़ी. लेकिन यूनिवर्स बहुत बड़ी जगह है. सीखने की चाह के आगे है कहीं कुछ नहीं. खेल खेल में एक दिन पाएंगे मंजिल सभी. हर सवाल का है मन में उठना लाजमी.
एलेक्सा, पीटी उषा का पूरा नाम क्या है?
पूछने में डर नहीं और ना अब झिझक कोई. हौसला बढ़ा है अब, उम्मीद मन में है जगी.
Similarly, energy is also required.
देखते ही देखते कक्षाएं अब भरने लगी. एक नीली सी रोशनी से कर ली जो दोस्ती.
I hope you guys were able to see and hear it. It's a very short, simple video, but basically the idea with which we created is to say that we believe Alexa as a technology has a great way to go and becoming part of the education in India. And already we've seen a lot of examples for that. Many schools across the country are also trying to use Alexa as a means and mechanism to support in their current curriculum-based learning. And with that in mind, what we've recently done is to complement the teaching that you guys are giving in schools. If we can actually lend a hand to support that learning journey for the students when they go back to their home, is why we built a Macmillan Altura skill on Alexa. So basically, it's very simple. You can open Alexa and just say that open Macmillan Altura, and then the skill will launch. This is specifically meant for learning English from classes 1 to 5, right? And the way we've designed it is to make it very interactive and not just like Alexa telling students in a one-way communication, but it will be both the student interacting and Alexa responding, and also making it fun-filled, and also providing rewards to the students, right? So blending in all different kinds of interactive means by which the students can actually enjoy learning with technology. So what we have in the next slide is a simple demo, which will show you how if a customer interacts with this experience, how do they feel about it, right? And I want all of you guys to watch this very closely, because we also look forward to your feedbacks, your thoughts. We have done, made this based on our interaction and inputs from Macmillan, but we look forward to you, who are the actual people delivering the teaching to the schools, to provide your feedbacks.
Alexa, open Macmillan Altura.
Hi there. Welcome to Macmillan Altura. In this skill, you will be able to learn English, answer interesting questions, and win stars as well. Before we begin, tell me what level of content would you like to learn? You can say level 1 to level 5.
Level 1.
Okay, great. I have assigned you to level 1. English Reader 1 is your English learning book. You can ask me to pause or repeat at any time. Are you ready to go to the first chapter?
Yes.
Welcome to the chapter, My Village, of your learning book English Reader 1.
Listen to this story about what Noi does when her friend Ek visits her. It has been adapted from the original story by Unla Santi. Noi is a little girl who lives in a village.
Today, Ek is visiting our village. Ek is my friend from the city,
she says. Noi shows Ek her family.
Here's my mum and my dad. This is my grandma and my grandpa,
she says. Then Noi takes Ek to the village river.
Look, a villager is fishing,
she tells Ek. Let's pause here to know the meaning of the word barn. A barn is a large building for storing grains or keeping animals.
Let us go through multiple choice question now. I'll start by asking one question. I will provide 3 options for each question, of which only one is correct. Each correct answer will give you 5 stars. Are you ready?
Yes.
Choose the correct option to complete each sentence. Noi is a little dash. The options are option 1, girl, 2, boy, 3, goat.
Girl.
Very good. You have scored 5 stars so far. Let us go through one true or false question now. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are these sentences true or false? Noi's friend was from a village.
Alexa, pause.
To come back, just say, Alexa, open Macmillan Altura.
Alexa, open Macmillan Altura.
Welcome back. You were going through My Village in your Macmillan Altura English Reader 1 learning book. Would you like to continue where you left?
Yes.
You were going through a quiz in which there is one true or false question. Let us continue with question 1. Are these sentences true or false? Noi's friend was from a village.
Incorrect.
Well done. You have scored 10 stars so far. Would you like to go to the next section?
Yes.
Let's continue
Alexa,
with the story.
check my score.
You have scored a total of 10 stars.
Alexa,
You were going.
open chapter 2.
Welcome to the chapter, Sarah Takes a Walk, of your learning book English Reader 1.
Listen to a passage
Alexa,
on the different things.
Change my grade to 2.
Okay, great. I have assigned you to level 2. English Reader 2 is your English learning book. You can ask me to pause or repeat at any time. Are you ready to go to the first chapter?
Yes.
Welcome to the chapter, My Home, of your learning book English Reader 2.
Alexa,
Listen to this story.
stop.
Okay. Look.
Yeah, so I hope you all got a chance to see this short experience. We tried to only showcase few important things in this experience, but the idea is that this will be very useful for the students because they will be able to learn at their own pace. Obviously, after the teacher has taken the class first time, and then the student can go and repeat and then learn from their own comfort at their own pace at their own time. Right? That's what this experience enables one to do. And while some of us may think that because this is only shown in a device, is that a limitation? Well, it's not, right? So this is one way to access the experience. The same experience can also be accessed using the Amazon shopping app, just like this.
Open Macmillan Altura.
Hi there. Welcome to Macmillan Altura. In this skill, you will be able to learn English, answer interesting questions.
Yeah. So if you notice in this video, there's a small microphone button which is on the top of Amazon shopping app, and you can click there and Alexa becomes available, and you can do the same get the same experience similar to how you got in the device which we showed you earlier. Now, why did we do all this along with Macmillan? Because this is kind of like a stepping stone into the blended learning that we are going to focus on as we go forward, so that the students can learn both from the teachers during their online sessions or in the schools, as well as at their own pace, like similar to how you do a homework, right? And before I go into questions, I'll just give you a brief on the benefits that this brings in. One is obviously this is a free of cost experience that is available on Alexa. You can just say open Macmillan Altura and this experience will launch. There is no cost attached to it. The other part is it's available to everybody. So even if you don't have a device like an Alexa device, you can still access it either by downloading the Alexa app or by using the Amazon shopping app, the microphone on there as well, right? So it's already at your own fingertips in a manner of speaking, right? And the third important piece which Macmillan has helped us and supported is that bring in the trusted content which is well understood by the community of students and teachers, which you all are doing. So this is Macmillan approved content. So we don't have any concerns on the content not being authentic or not fit for the students, right? So that's being addressed. And what Alexa is bringing in here is that not just learning, but it also helps you play quizzes, get awards, so that after a point in time, the students can then learn on their own. They don't need a parent to overlook them, but they basically can interact with Alexa, get their own rewards, understand how to interact with this experience, etc. Right? And at their own pace, right? It's Alexa. You can keep on asking Alexa how many ever number of times. She doesn't tire. She will keep on helping you along that learning journey, right? All this is what is being brought together by this Macmillan Altura experience on Alexa. And we believe that this could be one step more in plugging the gaps in the blended technology-based learning as we go forward. So that's all. I mean, we didn't want to make it a boring session. We just wanted to get a quick glimpse of it. You can always go to amazon.in/Macmillan Altura, this page, and see all the details of this, as well as we will be working with the Macmillan team and sending across a mailer with more details on this, so that in case you would want to send it across to your a student base or your parents or the community WhatsApp group, etc., you can very well go ahead and leverage this as an opportunity. With that, I'll stop. I will now take any questions. I mean, we will limit it to few questions because we don't have much time, but happy to take those. And I saw somebody had raised a hand. Please go ahead and ask the question. Am I audible? Is there somebody who raised a hand? Do they have a question?
Chair, we are just looking at the chat box if there are questions there.
Yeah.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Audience here, would you like to ask questions from Chair?
I saw Janipriti had put across saying that it will be very useful for kids. I think that's a very thanks for that feedback. Those kind of feedbacks are what we are looking forward to, because we want your inputs to see that how far we can take this ahead and help you in leveraging or using Alexa also as a companion when, for example, you give homeworks and you ask students to learn from their homes, etc. That's what motivates us to go ahead and do more stuff around it.
So Jay, there aren't any questions. We've just received feedbacks on the chat box on our other platform as well, and most of the people find it very interesting.
Oh, that's great. That's great, Suruchi. So what we will do, Suruchi, like we discussed, like maybe people may need some time to understand the whole experience in detail. So we can maybe share across a mail which captures all of these details, and all the teachers here can also go and check it on their own. Provide us feedback, because this you will know more better than anybody else on how the students are going to perceive this. We are also kept it in a way that it is like very simple for a kid to use as well, right? It's also, yeah, Jennifer, yes, it can be used for KG classes as well. Although we were not, we started with grade 1 and upwards, because at the KG class level, we don't know how much the student will be using a mobile for learning, etc. So that's why we stuck to classes 1 to 5. But yeah, happy to take that feedback and see what we can build on KG class as well. Just to give an insight, right? We have a lot of kids already interacting with Alexa, and they are interacting for playing rhymes from Alexa, asking questions to Alexa, and getting answers from Alexa. So kids are one cohort who are very interested to play around with technology and learn from it.
True, very true. So whatever feedbacks we'll receive, we'll definitely share with you all.
Yeah, we look forward to that.
Durga, would you like to take over? Yeah,
yes.
Durga, would you like to take over?
We thank Mr. Jay and his team for supporting us and in taking us through Alexa Altura. Indeed, we are impressed by the way you have developed Alexa Altura. Now, I request our Tamil Nadu Assistant General Manager, Mr. Andrews, to formally give vote of thanks. Over to you, Andrews, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Durga. Good afternoon, all. I'm Andrews from Macmillan Education. I take this opportunity of thanking our eminent resource person, Mrs. Asalsha Thakur. I'm not sure whether ma'am is present with us, but still, thank you, ma'am, for your engaging and entertaining, edutaining session for our participants throughout this last 2 hours. The session was really informative, interactive, and enlightening. And we believe that our teachers would definitely take and follow the knowledge which you have imparted during these last 2 hours. I would also thank the participants for being so proactive and supportive throughout the session. So thank you, ma'am, and thank you all, and hope to see you all soon in yet another session by Macmillan Education. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.